I'm Sari Cohen here chatting once again with the cast of Alex Rider about the upcoming premiere for season 2 on IMDb TV. Let's take a first look.
Alex.
This is your third absence. Where have you been? Your coursework's late. You are slipping behind with your grades.
I've got a lot going on.
I'm Sabina.
I'm Alex.
You meant to go, huh?
We're renting a house.
You said your dad was writing a book about Damien Gray. Billionaire, charity work, feathered serpent. We're gonna change the world.
From your point of view, what has it been like transitioning from season 1 to season 2 with your character?
It was interesting, you know. There's a lot of things in series 1 that happened to Tom that there's not really time to dive into or discuss, and I think that's right for Tom. Is if he was to spend too much time being able to think about the fact that he tried to beat an evil version of his friend to death, I think that would open some doors in his mind that might be quite hard to shut without the correct people to guide him through. So yeah, the transition from 1 to 2 for me was just lovely to get back into the swing. But for Tom, I can imagine the last thing he wanted was for any of this spy stuff to show up again, really.
My character is more, I'd say, following her own beating drum. She's doing her own thing. She's got a job that's not being Alex's sole provider and caregiver. And she's got a little eye on somebody, maybe.
It's so fun. Like, I was really hoping that Kiyra would come back and we'd get to see a bit more of her and see her outside of Point Blank and what she's like with other people. So she gets to meet some new characters in series 2 that I was really looking forward to seeing how their dynamic would be. I mean, I think Burt's written her very clearly. So I think as far as like understanding her and seeing the kind of character she is, I think that was fairly easy. But yeah, she's end of series 1. She's in not a great place. So like navigating that in series 2 and figuring out like while all these massive things are happening, how like she is handling that, whereas also where she is mentally, you know, she's kind of been thrown in the deep end of it. And as with always in Alex Rider, she's very like life-threatening situations and high-pressure situations a lot of the time. But it's a lot of fun because it's a great cast and a great crew. So it's always very exciting and it's always a fun show to film.
What's the difference like now jumping into developing these characters for season 2 compared to season 1?
Well, in some respects, there's more joy in it now because I know these characters so well. We were so lucky with our casting of, you know, Ronke and Brenock and Marli as Kiyra, this sort of nuclear family around Alex, and of course Otto himself, the wonderful Otto Farrant. And knowing them and seeing that spark and the chemistry between them makes it such even more of a pleasure to write for them and to know where, you know, I feel safe in their hands rather than the other way around.
It's a beautiful family that you've created.
Well, I still remember the very first day that we put three of them together, you know, Brenock and Otto and Ronke on a couch together, and they were just chatting, and then they began to read. And everybody in the room knew that we'd found something really special. And that sort of special, that spark, just keeps flickering and shining through this second season. You know, these are just people you want to spend time with.
So Toby, your mom, obviously, Maggie Smith, incredible actress. What have you learned from her taking into the show? Are there any words of wisdom that she gave you?
Not specifically for this show, but I mean, certainly I learned a lot from her and the way that she approaches what she does. You know, that she's always been a very hard worker, and that has always been instilled in me. And, you know, that it is a craft and you need to work hard to constantly improve, and you know, you should never take a job for granted and stuff like that.
You can check out the second season of Alex Rider starting December 3rd on IMDb TV. Make sure you check it out. I'm Sari Cohen. See you next time.
You're in harm's way. This is your life coming apart.
It's supposed to be over.
We dropped you into the deep end of a world that you're not quite ready for.
I have to go.
Where?
To do your job.
In 8 days.
Will you cower in the darkness?
Someone tried to hack the Pentagon.
I have to stop this.
It's game over.